This week in politics, a Right Chick Politics recap for the week of December 1st. Let's take a look at the accomplishments of the Republicans and Trump. As you know, President Trump attended the NATO conference, and he made it very clear to our allies that they are expected to pony up if they want our assistance. No more taking advantage of American taxpayers, and I love it. He was even willing to confront them to their faces. So much so that he actually turned a bunch of grown male leaders into gossipy little middle school girls. President Trump also passed a law called Prevention of Animal Cruelty and Torture Act, expanding on Obama's 2010 law. This new law makes it a felony to intentionally display acts of cruelty against animals in videos. This law is Bevo and Sarah approved. 266,000 jobs were added in November, far exceeding the estimated 180,000 jobs by economists. Democratic politicians hate this fact, sadly, because a strong economy matters to the American people more than anything. Unemployment remains at an all-time 50-year low, while the stock market continues to perform well. Cha-ching! Republicans invited a Democratic constitutional scholar professor to speak on the subject of impeachment. Despite his admission that he does not like Trump, he did not vote for Trump, he offered the least biased testimony and expressed concern that Democrats, his own party, are, quote, lowering the impeachment standards to fit a scarcity of evidence, unquote. He then proceeded to receive death threats from tolerant liberals. Apparently, independent thinking that dissents from their narrative is just simply unacceptable and warrants death. President Trump tightened the rules for eligibility of food stamps under the SNAP program, requiring able-bodied adults between the ages of 18 to 49 years old without dependents to get out and get a job. And he's not handing out those stupid Obama phones either. We were reminded that during President Trump's call with Ukraine President Zelensky, that President Trump asked that they do a favor for our country. Not him, our country. Let that sink in. Keeping in mind that we listened for almost 3 years about Russian collusion that was debunked by the Mueller report, check out page 173, but amazingly Democrats still try to push this false narrative, and the left continues to believe it. Now, let's examine the Democrats' week. Oh boy, buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. We got to learn together as a nation that Joe Biden's leg hair turns blonde in the sun, and he also loves for kids to sit on his lap. Also, something about roaches. Weird. In other Biden news, Joe Biden called a voter a damn liar and challenged him to a push-up contest. Talk about a campaign full of malarkey. This week, the Democrats called 3 witnesses to the Republicans' 1 witness. All 3 demonstrated extreme bias publicly toward President Trump prior to testifying. Pamela Karlan, who's supposed to be somewhat intelligent, elected to bring President Trump's minor child's name up in her testimony. Even she recognized how inappropriate that was afterward and had to apologize immediately. But that didn't stop her from telling flat-out lies when she claimed that President Trump, quote-unquote, demanded Ukraine assist him with investigations for personal gain. Now, I admittedly am not a constitutional scholar like her. However, I can read, and I've read the phone call memorandum, and nowhere did I see a demand from President Trump or any statement that an investigation into our past election would assist him with personal gain for a future election. We all know that Kamala Harris dropped out of the presidential race this week. She, of course, is blaming racism and misogyny. Keep in mind that Republican voters don't vote in their primaries, and of course, we have nothing to do with her campaign. Therefore, she is calling you, the Democratic voters, racist and misogynist. Welcome to our world, liberals. She wasn't willing to recognize that even black voters rejected her because of her policies that locked up African Americans when she was a DA. Now, back to this guy. Democrats resorted to threatening their own. That's right, the Republican constitutionalist scholar, Jonathan Turley, was a Republican witness, but he is an admitted Democrat. Upon concluding his day participating in Nadler's circus, he returned home to death threats and demands that he be fired. So much for the party of tolerance. You promote diversity, but not diversity of thought. Well, Professor Turley, we welcome you to our party. We appreciate you putting your personal politics aside to offer a non-biased opinion on what is going on with this joke of an inquiry and the Democrats. You were certainly the most reputable witness that appeared on Wednesday, and any reasonable person would be willing to acknowledge that. Adam Schiff subpoenaed his own colleagues' phone records. Just wait until we have a chance to subpoena his phone records and emails, his staff's phone records and emails, and the alleged whistleblower phone records and emails. Is it possible we will witness the coordination of a coup? And for good measure, let's go ahead and subpoena Hunter Biden's investment fund, Rosemont Seneca Bohai's financials, along with his, Devon Archer's, and Chris Heinz's, John Kerry's stepson's, investment fund, BHR's financials. Don't forget, while you're at it, to investigate their business dealings with Chinese companies previously caught stealing our military secrets. All the while, Joe Biden served as a VP and John Kerry served as Secretary of State. While you're at it, Google Devon Archer's jury conviction that was coincidentally overturned by an Obama-appointed judge who happens to be married to an attorney who served on Robert Mueller's special counsel for the Russia investigation. Say what? And finally, to end my weekly recap, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. That's right, let's not let this pedophile story of epic proportions die with him. There are too many elite people named that are associated with this to let this simply go away. All who are complicit need to be held accountable. Every single one. This is Sarah Arnett with Right Chick Politics. I hope everyone has a great weekend.